Hey guys, in this video we'll be talking about ability feature in Noah's Heart. It's similar to the EX in Dragon Raja. If you haven't played Dragon Raja, then think of this like a special skill. Now it is found at the lower right of the screen, close to your dash and skill icons. To access this feature, you just open your menu and select ability. The first page is for upgrading your abilities. We'll come back to that in a minute. What we'll focus on right now is the second page, which shows you all the available abilities in the game. You can use any of these abilities regardless of your class or the weapon you have equipped. There are abilities that buff or heal you, and there are others that debuff or even stun your opponents. This includes players and monsters. What you should know is the effects and strengths of these abilities. They will all improve as you upgrade them, and you can unlock higher versions of the same ability. Let's start with the Pure Water ability. At the first form, it gives you a shield that absorbs damage equivalent to 40% of your HP. Blessing, which is the second form, prevents you from being stunned as long as this shield exists, which is very helpful in this game where you can be stunned to death. But the problem is the shield's quality will be reduced, meaning it won't absorb as much damage, not more 40%, but I believe 20% or so of your health, depending on the level of your ability. While the third form loses the stun immunity in exchange for a damage reflection shield. Now this absorbs and deals 75% of the damage back to the opponent. So if you feel you get stunned a lot, you might want to use the second form of this ability. Now if you are a knight and you just want to be more annoying and stuff, you might want to use the first form or the third form that reflects the damage it absorbs back to your opponent. It basically is dependent on your playstyle because any class can use any ability. The final form gives you a lot of shield, like 60% of your health, but it reduces your movement speed, which isn't that great. Honestly, I can see the archers using this as well just to stay alive while dealing damage from their static positions. But yeah, you have to be quite careful and smart when using abilities. Now the second ability is Blaze. The first form of this ability is Ignite, which deals area damage and reduces the healing your opponent receives. It is a perfect counter to one of the ability called Soft Breeze that basically just heals. The second form of Ignite is called Meltdown. Now it loses the ability it gained in the first form, that's the healing reduction. It loses that, but it still deals area damage. In exchange for this, however, it actually gains a damage increase. Now you deal more damage to whoever is within the AoE effect of this ability. This is perfect for dungeons, for guild boss or guild PvP boss, and also for world bosses. Even for PvP you can use this. As long as you just want to spam quick damage, you can use this, but you have to time this perfectly because I think it only lasts for a couple seconds. The third form of Blaze is Nova. It loses all the earlier abilities. Also, in exchange of its AoE ability, it gains one big explosive damage and stunning effect. This is great for players who want to keep their stun combo going. Yeah, you can use this to keep a stun going. As you all know, you only have one stun removal in Noah, but if you use this while stunned, your opponent will be knocked back and they might think that you've wasted your stun. So in exchange, you've basically got two stun removals. Another great part about this ability is the cooldown isn't as long as the others. The final form of this ability, it's basically a bleed rune. For a lack of better words, it loses all its previous ability and just deals continuous damage to whoever is close to you, about 7.5% of your attack damage to them for a couple seconds, but you also lose a few of your health. Flowing Light is a buffer, debuffer, and a stun resist. This is a good one, honestly, but I personally don't use it too much. Now the first stage of this increases your movement speed. The second stage makes you dash forward and increases your movement speed. The third stage increases your movement speed and gives you stun immunity. Now this is kind of one of the best out of all its other ones, but your defense is reduced, so you want to be careful while using this. The final stage increases your movement speed and reduces surrounding enemies by 20%, I believe. This will become higher the more you upgrade it. Now I think this ability is perfect for archers. This is an example because you will want to keep your distance. So using this, you will always be faster than your opponent for a couple seconds, and you can also just reduce their speed whenever they get close to you. So this is perfect for the archers. This doesn't mean the sword and shield, the polearm, or the dual bladers can't use this. Every other weapon user can use this to catch up to you, but Again, it depends on your playstyle. Shadow is a complete debuffer. The first stage decreases the enemy speed and damage by 25%. The second stage decreases the enemy's damage by 25%, yes, but it also decreases their critical hits by 50%. So for a couple seconds, your enemy will barely be dealing any damage to you. And the third stage basically makes your opponent unable to use their phantom skills, including summoning. They can't summon their phantoms for a couple seconds. So basically this third form is for PvP, and if used properly, you can change or turn the tide of the battle. Now the final form decreases movement speed by 50%. This is crazy. It's a lot. Yeah, and that's basically what Shadow does. It focuses on your opponent, debuffing them and stopping them from being able to do certain things. If you like that kind of thing, then Shadow can be helpful for you. Thunder, I really love this one. It's a great buffer. Honestly, at the sports form, it restores 6% stamina per second for 15 seconds. That's basically enabling you to dash at least once every 2 or 3 seconds. You can get a free dashing. This is quite awesome. The second form restores immediately 60% stamina. This can be increased further, mind you. This can be increased further the higher you upgrade your ability. Stamina is very important in PvP and almost everywhere. Stamina is quite helpful, so having an instant refresher of this can help you a lot. Now the third form reduces your stamina cost. The amount it reduces by is still based by the upgrade or how high you've upgraded your ability. And finally, it steals 400 stamina from enemies upon hitting them. So this is a great counter against people that run. PvP can be brutal, so expect to face players who will literally run for their lives. Yeah. Soft Breeze is the only ability that actually heals you in the game without any drawbacks. Healing, which is the first form, instantly gives you 10% HP, plus you gain 1% health every second for 10 seconds. First Aid restores 20% of your health instantly, and this is great for intense duels where you need your health to be back up as fast as possible. I'm not really a fan of the third form because it doesn't really give you instant health and it doesn't really help that much in PvP, but you gain 1% HP every second for 25 seconds. In the long run, this can be helpful, but can you last that long? The final form, Reciprocation. I can't tell you how many times I beat my tongue trying to get that right. I call this one the Masochist rune because you gain health when you are hit. The problem is the short duration, but pair this with a good phantom like Arten that once its shield is up and you get damage, you gain health. Pair this with Arten or Noah or Sebas, who actually heals, and you probably regain your full health in seconds. This is crazy. Void is kind of like a Gamble EX. I kind of think of it like a trump card. Its first form is Overlord and it gives you 50% damage boost for 12 seconds. Now, after that, you lose 50% of your damage, but this is insanely good. It's like the Lift Restriction Draconic in Raja. It is a perfect ability for instant damage. If used properly, you can turn a loss into a win with this ability. The second form is Inspiration. It's one of the craziest in the game and it's kind of one of my favorites. It's a crazy ability if used at the right time. This can help you win, but its effects shine the most in 1v1 duels, and it's basically a double-edged sword because if you don't use it properly or use it at the right time, you will end up losing as it drains all your health. Maxed Out is the third form of the Void ability. It's a total debuff that zaps stamina. Not sure if it's your stamina or your opponent's stamina, but if it's yours, then this is kind of weird because I don't really see the usefulness of this. Now, Berserk is the final form and it just gives you 25% super critical and critical rate for 12 seconds. Super critical and critical rates in this game are very helpful because they help you deal insane damage when they actually proc. But to be honest, I think Overload, that's the one that gives you 50% damage increase, is probably safer than this because the drawback of this is a lot higher, guys. I don't know, maybe it's just me. This is quite simple to do. You only need to gather various elemental crystals, which you can get by fighting monster camps or unlocking teleportation spots. Different monster camps will give you different elemental crystals, so it's best to make sure you're doing the right ones. Your in-game map also shows what crystals you can get from these camps and their locations. To conclude, I can't tell you the exact ability to use as Everyone will have different strategies, and there's no ability that's the best for all events, weapons, or opponents. But I do hope you've understood a little more about ability in Noah's Heart. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already for more gameplays, guides, and tips. As always guys, thank you so much for watching the video and take care.